Deep within the suffocating silence of the ancient Indonesian rainforest, a secret breathes. It is not the sound of the wind, but a whisper from a time before man. They say that love can survive the grave, but in our world, love often twists into something unrecognizable, something hungry. Have you ever heard of the Jenglot? A tiny, withered figure, no larger than a human hand, with long fangs and hair that continues to grow long after the soul has departed. It is a creature of blood and shadow, but it does not walk this path alone. There is another, the silent watcher of the night, the owl.
Local legends speak of a bond that defies the laws of nature. Most fear the Jenglot as a harbinger of doom, a parasite that drinks the blood of the living. And the owl? It is the messenger of the afterlife, its hooting a countdown to a soul's departure. But tonight, we look closer at the strange synergy between these two entities. Is it possible that these spirits are not rivals, but tragic lovers bound by a curse so powerful it survived their transformation? Imagine a soul trapped in a tiny, petrified body, seeking comfort in the wings of a creature that belongs to the sky. It is a romance written in blood and feathers.
A lone traveler once dared to enter the forbidden grove of Mount Salak. He found a shrine hidden behind a curtain of weeping vines. There, atop an altar of jagged stone, sat a Jenglot, its tiny claws wrapped around a single white owl feather. The air was cold, unnaturally cold, and the smell of iron and decay filled his lungs. He felt a presence watching him, not from the shadows below, but from the canopy above. The owl was there, its wingspan wide enough to blot out the moon, guarding the tiny creature below, as if it were the most precious treasure in the world. This was no coincidence. This was a vigil.
To understand the Jenglot, one must understand the ritual. They are said to be the remains of ancient ascetics who failed to achieve true immortality. Their bodies shrank, their spirits soured, and they became eternally hungry. But the lore says one such ascetic had a companion, a priestess who took the form of a great owl to protect him during his meditation. When the curse struck, she refused to leave his side. Now, centuries later, they find each other in the dark. He provides the raw spiritual energy, and she provides the eyes that see through the veil. Together, they are a complete unit of supernatural terror, roaming the woods in a macabre dance.
In the villages, they tell stories of how the owl brings the blood. On nights when the moon is hidden, the owl hunts, not for mice, but for the life force of the unwary. It brings its offering back to the Jenglot, letting the dark fluid drip onto the withered lips of the doll-like entity. In return, the Jenglot whispers secrets of the future into the owl's ears. It is a symbiotic relationship born of desperation. This is the Cinta Dunya line, an otherworldly love. It is dark, it is moody, and it is utterly terrifying to those who stumble upon their feeding ground. Can you feel the chill on your neck? They might be closer than you think. The forest seems to hold its breath when they are together. The wind stops its rustling, and the insects fall silent. It is a moment of unholy peace. The Jenglot doesn't move like a human. It twitches, its long hair swaying as if submerged in water. The owl bows its head, its feathers ruffling in a strange, rhythmic patterns. Critics say it's just superstition, but how do you explain with strange sightings? The farmers who find their livestock drained of blood, surrounded by nothing but owl tracks and small, human-like footprints? There is a pattern here, a signature of a love that requires a constant sacrifice.
Every ritual has its price. The Jenglot's power grows with every drop of blood, but so does the curse's grip on the owl. It is said that the owl is slowly turning into stone, mirroring its tiny partner. Soon, they will both be nothing but artifacts, frozen in an eternal embrace of wood and bone. But until that day comes, they hunt. They search for a way to break the cycle, or perhaps for a soul to take their place. Have you ever felt a sudden weight on your shoulder in the woods? A feeling that you are being measured by something small and something wise? Don't look up. Just keep walking. But here is where the story takes a turn. Some say the Jenglot is not the one being protected. They say the Jenglot is the jailer. It holds the owl's soul captive within its withered chest, using the bird's sight to find its prey. The love we see is actually a struggle, a celestial battle played out in the shadows of the night. The owl screams not in greeting, but in a desperate plea for release. Every time the owl flies, it tries to escape, only to be pulled back by the invisible chains of the Jenglot's dark magic. A romance or a kidnapping that has lasted for an eternity. The truth is often scarier than the myth.
Think about the symbols we surround ourselves with. We see the owl as a symbol of wisdom and the Jenglot as a curiosity of the occult. But when combined, they represent the ultimate fear, the loss of autonomy. Imagine being forced to serve someone you once loved, your every movement dictated by their hunger. The Kisah Asmara, the love story, is a tragedy of epic proportions. It serves as a warning to those who dabble in the dark arts. Love is a powerful force, but when mixed with black magic, it creates a bond that even death cannot sever. The Jenglot and the owl are two halves of a broken soul, searching for a wholeness they can never achieve.
The traveler who found the shrine didn't leave the forest that night. They say he was found days later, his eyes wide with a terror that couldn't be spoken. He sat perfectly still, his skin becoming dry and leathery, his hair beginning to grow at an impossible rate. And high above him, in the branches of an old banyan tree, a new owl watched, its eyes filled with a strange, human-like sorrow. The cycle had found a new vessel. The love story continues, but the actors have changed. Who will be next to stumble into the grove? Who will be the next to provide the blood for the Jenglot's kiss? As the moon sets and the first light of dawn touches the canopy, the Jenglot retreats into the earth, and the owl hides in the hollows of the trees. They wait for the darkness to return, for the time when the boundaries between our world and theirs become thin. This is not just a ghost story. It is a reminder that some things are better left undisturbed. If you find a tiny figure in the woods or see an owl that seems too still, turn back. Some loves are meant to be forgotten, and some curses are meant to stay buried in the dark. Don't let their story become yours.
Thank you for venturing into the shadows with us today. The world is full of mysteries that defy explanation, and the bond between the Jenglot and the owl is just one of many. If you enjoyed this dark journey into Indonesian folklore, make sure to support the channel.